This is probably the third crispy skin pork belly recipe I've shared with you all. What I've gone ahead and done is using, this is the only sort of tool I have that would be what was user friendly anyways. It's an oyster shocker, so it has that pointy edge here, and what I did was boom boom boom, you go in and you're gonna stab that pork belly. If you notice, just look at all these stab wounds in there, right? Then you're gonna flip it over and taking a sharp knife, you're gonna make some cuts about half of an inch, anywhere from about a third of an inch deep. Yeah. Then we're gonna move on. We've got our little dry rub here, and we're gonna sprinkle that dry rub all over, including the cuts that we made, and that's gonna get that flavor deep down inside there. Yeah. Just gonna grab the rest of it, and the dry rub consists of Chinese 5-spice powder, black pepper, because I'm not a fan of white pepper, salt, and garlic powder. Notice how simple that was. If you want to put a little bit of onion powder in there, so be it. Add some onion powder. I'm just gonna slap the sides a little bit there, get the sides a little coaty coat. Boom. Put that to wash, shove this over, get some foil. We're gonna take the pork belly now, and we're gonna put it flesh side down. Then we're gonna make a sort of a tray to help protect it. Yeah? And if you're wondering, yes, I did double up on the foil. So here we go. Boom, bam. Why is this thing being difficult, boy? Anyhow, you understand what we do there, right? Just gonna shift that over for a second. We're gonna get a little roasting pan. And again, the oven is preheating to 350 degrees. Just gonna tuck that down. It's a very windy day, so the sort of knocking you're hearing there is my Christmas garland on my front door being slammed around by that wind. Right? Rice wine vinegar, and we're gonna brush the surface. Want to make sure the entire surface gets brushed with that rice wine vinegar. Now there is a version of crispy skin pork where you would air dry it in the refrigerator overnight. If you're interested in seeing that recipe, I mean to say, just yell at your boy. I will do it for you. Now I'm fresh out of coarse salt, but I do have the salt I use every day, which is sea salt. I'm gonna go on and cover the surface of this with that sea salt. Yeah. Just gonna work that in like so. Yeah, I had to pull out the big container. So all we want to do is level that up, and as soon as the oven comes up to temperature 350 degrees, it's gonna go on the middle rack. And there she goes, she's singing at us. So into the middle rack, and we're gonna let that go for about 50 minutes to 1 hour. 1 hour later, and I took it out of the oven. What we need to do is a few things. Crank up your oven to 480 degrees Fahrenheit. Then we're gonna remove the salt. All the salt here, we're gonna remove all of that salt off of this, and it's gonna be fairly easy to take out, right? See, it's gonna come out in chunks like that. So I'm gonna be, so I don't make a whole bunch of mess here, I'm gonna do it off camera, but you notice how easy that is to remove, right? Let's see if we're gonna get to the sink. We got to the sink. But anyhow, we're gonna remove that from there. Then, just gonna push this over. I have another tray with a wire rack. So after we remove it, remove the salt, dust out all of the salt off it, we're going to remove it off there and put it onto the wire rack. The wire rack will allow two things to happen. One, prevent the pork from burning. If I put it directly onto here, it will burn in that high heat, 480 degrees Fahrenheit. And two, it's going to allow for airflow. Yeah, you get where I'm coming from, alright? The sort of last step before we go back into the oven, I'm just trying to make sure I got all of that salt out. I have here some plain white vinegar. I'm just going to dip my paper towel in there, and I'm just going to give that a good wipe down of that vinegar. It's going to go into the oven now, 480 degrees, but it is important that you put it on the lowest setting, the lowest rack in your oven. Your heat source is going to be at the top, so you want it as far away as possible from the main heat source. Vinegar into the oven. She's singing again. Hey, time to go in. 35 minutes later, and hey, crispy pork belly, the easiest version I've shared so far. This is my third version, yeah? What I'm going to do is allow it to cool down for a couple of minutes, and rather than cut on top, I'm going to flip it over and use the original cuts we made on the bottom to cut it. So there we go. Just going to flip that over like so, and where we made those cuts, like I said, all we're going to do is, when you hear that crunch, listen to that. Yeah? Just love this thing, boy. It's the holiday season. You have your friends coming over. You hit them a little crispy pork belly. Sup, soldiers? Listen, if you enjoy this recipe, I'd really appreciate it if you hit subscribe and click that bell notification thing. If you've made the recipe, take a picture and send it to me. Email address down here. I mean, trying to tell people the email address, them butts will take the address and do all kind of thing with it. And tag me on Instagram at Caribbean Pot. I really appreciate you guys, and thanks for being in my kitchen with me today. Irie? Irie. If you go to the Costco, the ones at the Costco will have the skin removed. If you ask the people in the meat department, ooh, that is hot, but I want to show you guys. Let me hit all that little squeeze. See how nice and juicy? And of course, that crispy skin. If you ask them nicely, they will not remove, they will keep this skin on for you. So again, into sort of bite-sized pieces. Like that, yeah? Just look at that juicy boy. I hope this camera is doing this thing justice, you know, boy. Anyhow, I will continue chopping this up and get ready to enjoy the rest of my evening. Crispy skin pork belly. I do hope you all get an opportunity to give this one a try. A simple dipping sauce. Yo, even if it's just light soy sauce, and you're good. You're good. Put a little pepper sauce just for fun. But anyhow, I do hope you guys get an opportunity to give this one a try. The two others are available. The two other recipes I've done with crispy skin pork belly is available at CaribbeanPod.com. Irie? Irie. Let me go in tight and I wonder.